All right, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order the November 22nd Community Mental Health Full Board Meeting. We'll start with the pledge. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Donna, would you read the mission statement, please?
Yes, I will. Thank you. Our mission, Macomb County Community Mental Health, guided by the values, strengths, and informed choices of the people we serve, provides quality services which promote recovery, community participation, self-sufficiency, and independence.
Thank you. Next is adoption of the agenda. I'll take a motion to adopt.
So moved. Support.
Motion from Megan, support from Dana. Questions, comments, changes to the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All opposed? Agenda is adopted. Next, we will move on to the first hearing of the public. Anybody from the public wishing to speak, you have 5 minutes. Anything on this agenda? Lisa's going to wait till the end. Kathleen, come on.
I have nothing to say. I was going to defer to Lisa, but I'm a member of the public, and I'm just coming up.
Kathleen, can you turn on your microphone? We all want to hear you.
Oh, no, you don't. You really don't.
I know.
But,
I guess I should have just unplugged
sorry
it.
about that. Yeah. No, I'm now a member of the public. I turned in my card and my computer about an hour ago, and it's very bittersweet. Have really enjoyed my short tenure here and wanted to come and personally thank the board for all of their support. And also to Dave and Tracy and Sandy, who have been wonderful. They've always been very supportive and helpful. And I'm hoping I'm leaving things better than I found them. Not that it was their fault that I found them that way. It was an unusual time, and so I feel we did some good stuff, and I think there's a great team in place with great support by this board, and wanted to thank you all very much and wish you all the best. Take care.
Thank you, Kathleen. We will miss you. Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Anyone else? All right, we'll close the first hearing of the public. There is another before the end of the meeting. And we'll move on to item 5. I'll take a motion to approve minutes of the regular meeting of the CMH Full Board held on Wednesday, October 26, 2022.
So moved. Support.
Motion from Linda, support from Selena. Questions, comments on the minutes? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All opposed? Minutes are adopted. Next is item number 6. I'll take a motion to approve the CMH Program and Budget Committee meeting scheduled for Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. Oh, geez, that was canceled. We're going to move on. I'm just cruising right along. I can read. Next, we'll move on to request to approve. We'll start with item A. I'll take a motion for final approval for MDHHS PIHP contract amendment number 8.
So moved. Support.
Motion from Linda, support from Antoinette. Dave?
This amendment was basically on the funding side. And yeah, it's waiting for my signature in the office of the county. Yeah. So no major changes with this one. We are tracking the contract negotiations and sharing those out as they become available. But this was just a funding amendment.
Thanks, Dave. Any questions on this item, comments? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All opposed? Motion passes. Next, we'll go to item B. Take a motion to request for final approval, extension of the recruitment and referral incentive program.
So moved.
Motion from Megan, support from Mark. Dave?
Well, thanks to the board, we did the original recruitment, retention, and referral incentives, but they're scheduled to stop the end of December. Given our current situation and the critical need for staffing, what we would like to do is extend the recruitment incentive and the referral incentive, which would be the $1,000 hiring incentive and a $500 referral for everybody hired through June 30th. So there would be some payouts then after June 30th. The way we have it structured now is that there's a hard stop for all payouts as of 12/31. So if you were hired on 12/15, you would not be eligible for the hiring incentive after 30 days. So with your permission, we'd like to extend that. Again, the staffing crisis remains critical internally and within our provider system. And we are planning some additional outreach marketing efforts to try to support the fact that this is the needs are here. This is a great place to work within Macomb County, within our provider system, and that there's, given the rates increases that the board approved to our providers, and with these incentives, that hopefully we can help fill some of the gaps.
Thanks, Dave. Any questions, comments? Nick?
This is to extend it through June 30th, 2023.
You all set, Nick?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Next, we'll move to item C. I'll take a motion to approve a release for an RFP for partial hospitalization programs.
Support.
Motion from Antoinette, support from Linda. Dave again.
We have a number of partial hospital programs that we currently contract with. We are paying very close attention to our crisis continuum and anything that would help divert folks from emergency departments or step down from an inpatient psych stay. We did get a notice from one of our children's providers that they have, now they meet the criteria for a children's partial hospital program, which we do have a need for. And we're releasing this RFP to see if there's any other providers out there and things like that. But pretty much that's what triggered this one. So when we get those proposals back, hopefully we'll be able to add another support within our crisis continuum.
Thanks, Dave. Any questions, comments on the RFP? Selena?
Dave, are you looking for adults and children for the RFP, or is it just one specific?
I'd have to go to the paper, but I know it was children. At least. Yeah. Contract change. I know I'm in the right spot in the packet, but, oh, that's the model, oh, that's all contracts, right? Can I get back to you on that?
Yes.
One only serving children. No, it'd be for both. It does state that there's only one currently that is open to children. But I think we'd be open to looking at both. Thank you.
Thanks, Selena. Anyone else? Okay, hearing and seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All opposed? Motion passes. Next is item 8, receive and file. We have no items there. Item 9, resolutions. No resolutions tonight. Item 10, take a motion to pay the bills.
Support.
Motion from Selena, support from Megan. Questions, comments on the bills? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All opposed? Bills are paid. And next we'll move on to the CFO update. Ken's here tonight.
Sorry, I jumped it down a little bit there. I forgot about
We got to pay the bills
Gotta pay
first.
the bills. It's key. Good evening, everyone. Wanted to just give a highlight our September 2022 report here. Our interim FSR was due to the state of Michigan on November the 15th, so we submitted that. The numbers in this report are based on that FSR. I believe that these numbers can and will change between now and February, but I think this is a good estimate of where we stand at this point. There's some things in flux, mostly with the CCBHC program and some of the calculations we have there that we simply need guidance from the state before we can even, kind of finalize that. So in the next few months, things may swing there. But like I said, this should be a good estimate at this point. So on page 1, revenue and eligibles through September, no surprises there. I have been off the last couple days. I haven't heard that the PHE ended or that they made any of those announcements, so that's continuing for another 90 days at this point. So expect those trends to continue. Part of the reason of the extension of the retention and referral bonus, because we're going to continue to have those high eligibles and as a result revenue.
Ken, not to interrupt you real quick, PHE, public health emergency. Right?
Yes, sorry. Going to the next page, page 2. The only thing I wanted to highlight here is you'll see some big numbers in cash and investments and also liabilities. We're simply sitting on a ton of cash from that high revenue, and then we have these offsetting liabilities that when the state comes knocking, we'll settle with them. So we have these very large numbers on our balance sheet, but at this point, probably another year or two before we even start settling last year. So there is some delay there. You can see at the bottom our net position is projected to increase, which is good. Page 3. The only thing I really wanted to highlight here was in the expenses column. Due to a lot of the efforts and things that were put in place, those expenses have gone up about $20 million from last year. Rate increases, provider incentive, all those good things that we're trying to push out. So that's kind of reflected in that number. Page 4, you can see here this is kind of a summary of where we stand as far as lapse goes and broken down by program. So you can see in Medicaid and Healthy Michigan, if we add those two numbers together, it's about $47 million that will be lapsing back to the state this year. Just for a comparative note, last year that number was at $62 million. So we have, again, through those spending initiatives, trying to work that number down. We do have, just flipping real quick to page 5, our GF lapse is about $3.3 million right now, and that's compared to $4.5 million in the last year. So again, trying to push those special funding programs, all those different initiatives, and try to use those dollars to the extent we can. The state of Michigan denied a request to help out our fellow CCBHCs in the state with Section 226, transfers. So that was unfortunate, but that would have been a way to use some of those dollars if we could have. Circling back to page 4, I want to highlight the CCBHC Medicaid section. Again, we did our tentative estimates on this. You'll see the bottom line for both the Medicaid and Healthy Michigan net to zero based on the way we interpreted the state wanted us to report this. But what I wanted to highlight was the surplus in the CCBHC Medicaid is about $1.4 million. So due to the efforts there, launching this program and all that work we could do, that $1.4 million is going to stay locally as unrestricted local dollars, which are kind of the best dollars to have. So, that program is paying financial dividends, as we can see here. Any questions on this page? I know that was kind of a lot of information, and it is, kind of the culmination of our year here. So happy to stop now if there's anything there. I will say that our ISF continues to be fully funded, as well as savings, of course. So that's where we stand at this point. Flipping over to page 6 and page 7, these are our usual financial statements. Page 7 just reflects the lapse in the second line there of our income statement at $51 million. There is a slight difference from the previous schedule. That's because our change in savings of, I think it was $350,000 is reflected in there, but it's materially the same. So looking at about $51 million in total. Continuing on, the budget to actual statements, I don't think that there's anything in there that's particularly unusual or worth highlighting. And then we have our usual schedule of top 10 providers, but that did not change from the prior month. So I think that's all I have.
Thanks, Ken. Any questions, comments? Doesn't look like it. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the CEO update from Dave.
Well, good evening, everybody. I was off last week and then came back to this lovely holiday short week, trying to cram kind of 2 weeks of time into 3 days. I was able to spend this morning with Crystal and Libby and Melvin and I actually, we went over to managed care operations, got a refresher education piece on our crisis services, intensive crisis stabilization, ACT, or sort of community treatment, our crisis phone lines. We actually went over to our west location, so I'd like to thank all the staff that we met, and it was good information. Things are going well, but with most things, still, we need some additional staffing supports. The needs of our community are increasing, but the foundation is good. The 988 rollout is going well. So that was all good news. And then we're just looking at maybe some additional data technology supports for those programs and stuff too. Really happy the clinical informatics is moving us forward on our data reporting and use of data to manage our services. Because I was doing that, I did miss the holiday event at the Crossroads Clubhouse. I think, Tony, you went. I did. Thank you for doing that. And I'm sure, as always, that was well done. The crisis services continue. I mentioned our crisis continuum, the need for partial hospital. Continue to work with the Office of the County Executive about the crisis services in general. There is a community forum coming up with first responders and our health systems next week, which I will be at, and probably grabbing some of my staff to go along with me to help support those efforts. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services issued an application for the crisis stabilization units. Pretty much, if you're interested, about 2-3 pages of a application process that's due by December 30th. I will be completing that. There's special funding available within the state budget for crisis stabilization units, so the timing is good with the RFP that is going out, I believe, next week for our crisis stabilization unit to really help support those efforts. Again, keeping people from the jails, keeping people out of the emergency departments who don't need to be there. Oh, and I'm happy to report too, just before I left on vacation, we were seeing some wait time issues with the customer service does a wonderful job of answering our phones, but then they moved to a triage line either for mental health or substance use, and there was a bottleneck there. That bottleneck is gone. The call response times are vastly improved. And we have, according to the report this morning, new staff in place, and that we're on a good path forward there too. So again, focuses on access, integrated health care, trying to continue to meet the increasing needs of our community, support our providers in those efforts. The retention and recruitment, I appreciate that very much. And then we continue to work with our providers to, offer any support we can. Oh, that's my note here too. I would like to bring to the board for next month, the state approved process for providers stability payments, which has gone well. Because of our needs of our community, what I would like to bring forward to the board is a capacity building grant opportunities and open it up to our current provider system to help them expand, grow, better meet the needs of our community, and just encourage them to be as creative as possible. And that will set the format, and then we would review those internally, and we would approve them internally, and then I'll work with this board about your involvement in the process. Do you want each of those to come to a board meeting or special board meetings and things like that to review? But again, given the funding that Ken reported on, the needs are there, the funding's there, staffing continues to be the missing piece. And then some of these programs are special evidence-based programs that take a lot of training, credentialing, special credentialing to be able to provide those. So we're looking at like infant mental health programs, all the way up to our substance use co-occurring IDDT things. There's the needs are out there. So again, I'll get a formal board action request, set the parameters for that, but I'll be bringing that to the board for December. So, thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Questions, comments for Dave? Okay, piece of cake. We'll move on to other possible agenda items. There will be a board executive committee meeting on Thursday, December 1st at 8 a.m. at the administration building. We fluctuated the full board and the program and budget meeting for next month. I guess that's the right word. We're getting rid of program and budget, and we're putting full board in its place because full board was originally between Christmas and New Year's, and I didn't think that was necessary. So we're going to have full board Wednesday, December 14th here at 6 p.m. And then we will be having recipient rights meeting on Thursday, December 22nd at 8 o'clock in the morning at the administration building. Any other board members have anything they want to discuss, add, talk about?
I have something I'd like to say.
Dana, go ahead.
Can I turn my thing on?
Yes, you do, or else you can't speak.
Okay. So I just want to say that this is a time of year where we all reflect on what we're thankful for. And I'm very thankful to have the opportunity to serve on this board and all the amazing people that I've gotten to meet along the way. And that, of course, includes each and every one of you. So I'm very thankful to have all of you in my lives. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanks, Dana. I'm glad that didn't end with, and I'm resigning. So I'm thankful for that. But yes, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Have a safe and happy time with your families. At least the weather's not going to be 20 degrees, so that helps. With that, we'll move on to hearing of the public. Anybody from the public? 5 minutes. Speak about anything you would like. Lisa can come wish us a happy Thanksgiving if she wants to. All right. Hearing and seeing none, we will close the hearing of the public, and I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion from Megan, support from Antoinette. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a good Thanksgiving.